Good evening, Wanderers. Welcome to the Wondering Hour with Mom and Dad, a cozy corner of the night where your questions drift in like lanterns, and together we follow wherever they glow.
Nice to see you again, Dad. Jumping right in, as always, has your work ever come between a relationship you were in, and if so, how? Happy to answer this one right away, and it's going to sound so silly because I am a teacher, and I feel like people hear that and they're like, how was the work coming between you and anyone else? However, there is an amount of work that comes home with that. Not only in terms of like things to prep, if it's the 100th day of school and I'm counting out 100 Fruit Loops per kid, that stuff adds up, and it's so nice to have a supportive partner who is like, 100th day of school, let's get this, whipped out, let's do it. And I have definitely been with people who aren't as supportive of that, which is hard because it's something that I'm passionate about. Like the difference that makes for those kids is huge, and it makes such a fun day for them. And to not have somebody who's 100% there to help and make that magic happen as well, or just finds those tasks really tedious, or is just like, you've got this. In the beginning of teaching, that's so hard to do everything by yourself. So to not have a person who helps with that is, it's huge. It makes a really big difference, and it shows. And to now have somebody who is very supportive of that, it's been a real game changer for me, and how lucky I am now. But yeah, and even if it's not the physical prepping, everything that comes with it, it's an emotional baggage that comes home with me every day. Every kid that I think about constantly and worry about at night and those sorts of things. And again, I've been with people who are like, just turn it off. Like, you're at home, be done worrying about it. And there's just no way to do that. So that's definitely it takes a toll on you when people don't see the work and the love and the care that goes into it, and that's hard for me.
Yeah, that's very fair. The 100th day of school, 100 Fruit Loops is fun, especially now with the boy.
That was very fun. We counted those all out, and he just ate all the broken ones.
Yeah, we separate them as we're doing it. We separate the ones that are like stuck together in a group of 3 or 4 or 2 or whatever. The broken ones, the ones that are just a little bit unsightly, we pull all those out. And this time we put them all in a bowl for the boy, and he was having a heyday, just munching on Fruit Loops. In past years, it's been me. I've just been shoveling them into my face, but trying to cut weight a little bit. And
there's a lot of stuff that I can do in advance, especially now that I'm into my career, that I can have prepped and ready to go. But I can't use old Fruit Loops each year, so there's stuff I have to do each time.
And that's not the end of it. There's just recently you had a new student start, and barring any shenanigans, it's still like you need to get their area set up. You need to print out name tags and place things and get their stuff, pencil box, whatever, get that all set up. That's not instantaneous. That takes time, and that takes time away from the relationship, and not having a supportive partner in that, I can only imagine would be just absolutely draining, because there is so much that comes home. There's so much that it's gotten better this year, but like last year, setting up slides every night, like you would come home and we'd cut out 30-45 minutes of the very little time that we got together for you to do that, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, that's again one of those things that you really need to pay attention to, especially in that line of work, because there's so much that comes home.
Yeah. And I already have like an immense amount of guilt that comes with that. Oh, there's this time, that I have to take away from my family. I have to take away from my partner. And so to have somebody who's like really annoyed with that when you come home, well, I already feel bad. So now add on this extra layer of like, well, now I need to feel extra guilty bringing this home and taking this time away. And that was before I had kids and was actually busy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I just, it definitely has. And it's, one of those things. And I love what I do. And so it's hard to have people see that as a real hindrance and an annoyance. Yeah. And a burden rather than.
Yeah. Because we've talked about it before on here. As before you were like a real teacher, but the 1 week that I did a full-time job, a 40-hour week of cutting, laminating, hole punching, binder ringing, this stuff for your students, and that would have been on top of your over 40-hour week of teaching. So I think that especially in teaching, especially if you are a good teacher, or someone who cares about their students, it takes a lot of time. And it's awesome to be your partner for that, to see the care that you put in for every student. And it would be absolutely crazy of me to like be mad about it.
Yeah. I just watched a video recently that was like, people say, oh, teaching, it's so much work. Oh, it's such hard work. And he's like, it's not hard work to just show up if you're not a good teacher.
Yeah. It's not a lot of work if you're a bad teacher. That was a funny joke. But yeah, I definitely can see where your thing.
Yeah.
Just the amount of stuff you have to bring home. For me, I don't necessarily know that it like came between. It came between a relationship I was in. But when I was in the Army, I had certain wants and wishes and goals to accomplish, and my partner at the time was uninterested in letting me accomplish some of those. So again, I don't know that it's like that's what came between, because there's other stuff going on, but there's definitely just different goals in life can happen, and that can if you're pushing really hard to get stuff set up for students and I'm mad about that, or I'm pushing really hard in my career to do whatever, or just like now I'm working a lot of overtime because I have access to it, and if you started getting mad at me for that, like, what are we doing here, it's a time to earn money, and we got a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to this year that we need money for, so definitely take that time and do that. And it's easy to forget that. Just remain present and stay here with your partner.
I love that. And even if it's something that like doesn't necessarily like come between you, it's not the thing, it's still one of those things that drives a wedge, you know. It definitely plays a part, and work is such a big, I think, of the pie chart of our lives, especially as like adults. Work plays a big part of that, and as nice as it would be to be in a job where you can just not super realistic, and definitely something to think about and visualize. So,
for sure.
Well, all right. Before we get to the next question, Wonders, don't forget to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a new question. And if you want the extra moments, the cut questions, the cozy chaos, and the memories, come find us on TikTok and YouTube. We'd love to have you there. Keep wondering with us.
Thank you. On to the next question. Have you ever needed to find yourself? And if so, are you still looking?
I love this question. I love how this question is set up. I think everybody kind of gets at a point in their life where you need to eat, pray, love. And I think that a lot of people, especially when you're young, are like, no, I got this. I figured this out. Especially for people who like find their relationships very early on and then find out partway through, like, oh, I had a lot of searching still to do. I think that this feels very prominent then, but like everyone else, I spent a good chunk of my 20s looking for me.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? And who do I want to be? And especially as my brain was developing, I was developing, and it was a cool time. I wouldn't trade it. I definitely think I needed that. And I think that's something that we say a lot, just because we dated so young. Like, we really needed to be able to find ourselves separately before we could be together.
Yeah. Yeah, we needed our own areas to grow in. Like, we needed to be apart to grow into the selves that we are. Yeah, I don't think we've had that talk before. I don't think we would have grown together in the way that we grew together apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, what a weird thing to think about. But yeah, we were doing so much individually that, together just wouldn't have, it wouldn't have done what we needed it to. Yeah. So, but now that I'm in my 30s and in my mom era, and to be fair, I'm still looking for who I am, I think, in that role. But overall, I'm not still looking.
No.
And that's a really cool place to be, and a place I never thought I would get to be. I feel really comfortable with who I am and what that looks like, and really admitting to myself it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. The 13 to 15 mark, you kind of figure out yourself for the first time, and then that 18 to 21-ish, you figure yourself out for the second time.
That's such an interesting thing. Sorry to cut you off. Because developmentally, 13 to 15 is when you are finding your sense of self apart from your parents and your parents' point of view. And so that's the time frame for that. And then as you graduate, now you're finding yourself as an adult in the world. Yeah. And that's the growth that goes into that. Yeah. But sorry,
and then
keep going.
the 25-ish, once your brain is kind of done developing, you do that again.
And I think that's when a lot of people look inward then, where it's like, okay, are these things that I'm going to work on, or is this just who I'm going to be?
And that, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist or brain doctor or whatever you want to call it.
Me either. I just spend a lot of time on the internet.
But I wonder if also that's in marriage you hear often the 7-year slump.
Yes.
I wonder, it's just popping in my brain, whatever, if that's people getting married at 18 and then you become you fully develop your brain, and that's your 7-year, and you grow apart. And so it's not you've been married for 7 years, it's you married as quote unquote children, undeveloped brains. Your brain's developed, figure it out, you weren't who each other wanted, and then you move on. That just popped into my head. That's an interesting thought. I wonder.
Well, and if you think about how if the government would love for us to get married and have kids right away, and I guess technically society, I mean, for how long young girls, that's you get married young, ship off and do your thing, have your babies, move on with your life, whatever. So, think about that age range and what's really going on there. And it's less of a 7-year slump, but more of, I did a lot of developing in 7 years.
Yeah, and grown a lot,
Absolutely.
But and definitely
And I feel 7 years is a good time to sit and reflect on yourself as well. No matter what stage of life you're in, because, I can't even remember how old we were when we got together now, but like 7 years from then, that's a good time to check in with yourself.
2020, so next year would be
I'll be
7
keeping an
years.
eye on that. But yeah.
August of 2020.
Yeah, crazy. All right. Well, I'll be keeping an eye out. But yeah, think of, how much growing that we did in that time. And for us, it's, we have kids now. So what an interesting way that we're still growing and still kind of developing and looking for ourselves in that role. And I think that's a time as well where a lot of people are like, you look inward and you're like, okay, who am I outside of being needed all the time?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people get to a point where they're kind of drained by that role, because as amazing and fulfilling as it is taxing.
Yeah.
To constantly have someone at you who needs something, which is again amazing and wonderful and also difficult at times. So I feel like that's another time to sit and then reevaluate that. And then 7 years from when they're little, well, then we're getting into your preteens, and what does that look like? And then we redefine our role based on them needing us to step back a little bit. And then 7 years from that, and then we're people without kids. Well, now we need to sit and evaluate what that looks like, because then you rediscover yourself kind of again, and who am I as a person without my kids? And
emptiness, refine it, like hobbies that you have time for now, things like that.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I have a list that someday is my mental checklist of things that I'm gonna get into someday. I love every moment right now, but someday I'm gonna have hobbies.
But the 25 mark, and then also reserving time, I'm sure, me definitely, after going through my divorce, that was also a time, and that was right around that 25. I'm sure that's kind of a little bit what happened there, but that was right around that time, the 25, 26, 27 area. Then you also need to, I needed to rediscover myself as a single person. I needed to rediscover what I wanted, the things that moving forward after that relationship, the things that I was unwilling to compromise on, and any major life events after 25, I'm sure it will still leave you searching for yourself, and so I did that. We kind of, I think, came together at a time where we were both in very similar situations. And I think that we did a lot of growing and healing together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you come out of a relationship that is maybe not the best. And then you come, at least in our instance, you come into a relationship that was pretty healthy. We had our kind of stuff in the beginning. The Great Pancake Debate comes to mind, and then it just shows you how healthy the relationship is, and then that can really help you figure stuff out from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel like I was at a pivotal point because I was in relationships that, again, mentally and structurally I understood, but I was trying and exploring things that were a little different for me, and that was a really mindful moment of what I really do like as a person and what I don't want in my life as a person, and then how do I find that? And I was so worried, I know, after that relationship for then us to start talking, because I pretty much knew it was end game over here, but to sit down and be like, am I mentally prepared for that? But did I do enough work? It does not feel like it, because there was still a lot of healing to be done, and so that was fun to be able to actually do that together. And I feel like you always kind of are growing and checking in with yourself, but to really find myself, I feel like now I'm just reevaluating where I'm at in life, but I don't feel like I'm finding myself anymore.
I would agree with that, that sentiment. I don't think I'm finding myself. I'm just kind of solidifying, morphing, shaping
That's
the thing
such a great word. That's
as time goes on. Like, one thing that I talk about a lot in the book when we first got this and we're filling it out in 2020, 2021, very early on in our relationship, is Warhammer. Tabletop wargaming was a big part of my life back then. And now, I have a coworker that like keeps reaching out to me and is like, hey, you want to play? And I just like, I don't have the drive right now to tabletop war game. I would much rather just sit back with my silly cards and play cards with my friends. And that, like, the finding myself again, maybe not again, but in my previous relationship, there was not time for gaming. We were doing things, if I had time to game, we had time to be going on a hike or whatever, which was fine in the moment, whatever. But coming out of that relationship, that was like one of my non-compromises, like moving forward, if I'm going to do this again, get in a serious relationship again, I'm not willing to compromise on like game time, the ability to game. I don't need to like be gaming every minute of the day or whatever. I'm definitely still very realistic about what that looks like, but not compromising on getting that time for sure at some point. But what that game time looks like is differing from then till now. Again, just like the time that I have, it's easier to pull out a deck of magic cards and play a game really quick than it is to pack up my Warhammer figures, go to a place that has large tables set up and terrain, and unpack all my Warhammer dudes and set up for a battle and do the whole battle and then put away my dude and bring it. It's just not, it's just a lot. Again, much easier to just play cards with friends. So I definitely tend to do that now. I'm just kind of morphing who I am instead of still finding.
I am, still an ever-changing person. But who that is really, is changing, evolving, solidifying, like you said. But those like core beliefs, those values and things that make a person, those are pretty, again, solidified for me. So, I don't feel like I'm doing the big eat, pray, love, searching for that part of my soul and that kind of thing. So, I love that question.
I do too.
It's cool to see because of where we started and where we're at.
Yeah.
That wasn't always the case. So.
Very fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, funner question. A little bit of a story. If you could have a clone to help you out when life gets busy, would you want one?
I don't know of a reason that anybody would say no.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I like to think I'm a really great employee. I would love to have me working for me.
Yeah. I just like to, and whatever, moral stuff aside, it's, why would I, if I could just spend time at home with you and the kids and have my clone go to work for me or whatever, why would I not do that?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Like, I don't want a clone to like go to kid events and go to family outings and fill in those gaps for my life. I just want somebody who could maybe step into work for me every so often, who could like clean my house and do the chores and pay the bills and that kind of stuff. That's the part that I need more hands. Other than that, I mean, like, that would just allot me the opportunity to be more present in my family life is how I would view that. So, again, I feel like there's movies where it's like yeah, I have the clone now, but now the clone is like, I'm going to be the mother of the house. What is that? Smart House, maybe?
Sure.
You haven't watched
Never
that.
heard of it.
It's a Disney Channel. Whatever. But yeah, and the, like, takes over that role of the household, and that's just not how I'd view that. Or like I think of like Click, where he didn't have a clone, but kind of fast forward to those parts of his life because he was just going through it, and that's not how I would view that. But yeah, if I could just have the extra help in maintenance in my life, definitely would use a clone for that.
It just seems like an easy, and again, like moral things aside, because like at what point is it like slavery, whatever, like sure, if you want to get in the weeds about that kind of stuff, more power to you. I'm uninterested in getting into the weeds like that, so I would definitely say 100% I would want a clone if I could have one.
Yeah, I agree.
Easy question there. What are you self-taught in?
Oof. That's such a great question. I feel like there's a lot of things that I like self-teach myself. I think one of the big ones that stand out for me is like games are a big one, like modding my games, like that kind of stuff. There's all things that I'm like, look it up, let's figure it out. But like digital art was what I've always been, like an artsy crafty person. I love to draw and do all that sort of thing. But then when I was able to like lean in and get like my iPad and my app and do all my drawings and things like that, like I was just mostly winging it. So I had like no real training and anyone to help me with that or ask questions for, and that sort of thing. So I just kind of been jumping into that and figuring out as I go. And so that's really one that stands out to me as in self-taught, is that like digital art, which I love.
I would definitely say gaming for my self-taught thing. There's a lot of like card games, things like that I put a lot of time and effort into to like really understand and grow in and get better at. And then just like board games in general, I feel like there's a lot that you can kind of carry from one game to another, strategy, things like that if you play a lot of board games, you kind of have that leg up over someone who like isn't a board game player. If they try and come and play a board game, there's just those little kind of strategy things that they may not think about. But that's definitely
That's fair. I feel like that's definitely like when we play games.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I feel like I'm getting better at a lot of that, but I still like can't keep up.
It's like a quickness of learning a thing. If you like learn a lot of board games, you can see the similarities and the things that like, oh, it's this kind of a game, so I know that the basic actions are X, Y, and Z, so I don't need to like spend time on like, what can I do on my turn, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of that just kind of hastens the learning process, so you can then start focusing on strategy rather than what are the basic rules of the game. And that's definitely like Magic is a big one. I keep coming back to. Spent a lot of time just playing the game, reading the rules to kind of whatever, looking up different combos and strategy. Like that is definitely something that I'm pretty proud of in my where I started and where I am in.
What? Oh, okay. That's me. Sorry. What do you try to keep an open mind about?
This is another fun question that I really enjoy. And it's definitely a cop-out answer, but a true answer. And that's everything. I really try to remain open until I have all the facts and information that I may need to make a final decision on something. I really, really try and allow for debates and discussions and things like that to happen, and to still have a mutable mindset. about whatever the topic is. And yeah, that goes as far, everything. Again, a little bit of a cop-out, but I think it's the truth.
No, I like that. Yeah, because I would just generally say, like, perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm somebody who really wants to, like, put myself in somebody else's shoes. I'm really, like, I want to try to kind of understand your point of view, anybody's, and, whatever context. So, like, that's something that I really try to, I want to understand where someone else is coming from.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And to be fair, there are definitely like things where I'm like, nope, I don't get that. That's not.
Yeah.
Not for me. However, yeah, I like trying to keep that open mind and understand or try to gauge the perspective of where everyone's coming from.
Yeah, that was a point that I was going to make too. Like, even if my mind is closed about a thing and I know how I feel about it, that does not stop me from wanting to understand why you feel the way you do about it. And I think that that's a really, really fun thing, and something that I really hope that we can instill in the kids.
Yes.
To always be curious, always ask questions. Especially if someone's mind is made up, don't try and change their mind.
Yeah.
Try and understand why they feel the way they do, why they think the way they do. Yeah, I think that it's such a powerful tool, and if there's a class, personal communication. And that's one of the things that the teacher said in the class is something to the effect of, when you're like in an argument with someone or like in a debate with someone or whatever, stop trying to make them understand what you're saying and try to understand what they're saying.
I love that.
Yeah, and that flipped the whole in my head. It just that reframed it perfectly in my mind of oh yeah, we're having these fights about you don't get this, you don't get this, you don't get this, and me trying to explain it to you poorly because I'm a bad teacher. And then it's all right, we're gonna take a pause. What are you talking about? Let me deeply understand your point of view, and maybe that can get me somewhere with understanding, whatever. But even if you're not open-minded to change, I think you still definitely need to be open to information, open to understanding.
Oh, I love that. That was very well said. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
No.
I don't have anything else to add on to that, but yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah. Then let's hop right along to the next question. Do you believe in the saying, kill your enemies with kindness?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm constantly, that's my motto. If I'm frustrated, if I'm upset, if things don't go the way I want to, whatever. I'm going to try to be as nice as I can about it so we can turn it around.
Mm-hmm. That has become a saying that I say and think about and try to embody often. Because in the book, answering these questions just a few years ago, I said no, I don't believe in the saying kill your enemies with kindness, which is crazy because again, ever since kind of starting the content creation journey, that was something that I always wanted to embody. Was if I got a mean comment, find a good spin. Thank you for the comment. I really appreciate the feedback. Whatever. There was a comment that we got on my other project that I do with my friend, and they kind of refuted the thing that we were talking about, and just left it at that. And I'm all right. Can I get sources so I can read more about this, understand it better? They provided sources. I read about it. I learned more. And that got me more knowledge. It got me more knowledgeable in the things that we were doing for that era of that project. And then I also got to, again, be more correct when I was talking about this thing and all that. And that wouldn't have happened if I just, instead of believing like kill your enemies with kindness, if I was just like, oh, mean comment, I'm not going to reply to that. Or even just like clapping back. If someone says something mean and you just clap back with something mean, you don't open yourself up to that opportunity to learn and understand what you're doing better. And that was a big first step for me in really believing like kill your enemies with kindness, because I don't think that person like would have responded any other way. They wouldn't have, if I didn't like ask for sources and be like, hey, I really want to understand what you're saying. Please provide me with peer-reviewed sources that I can read and get it. If I was just like, bad comment, you're bad, I wouldn't have that information. I wouldn't be what we're doing today. So yeah, I definitely have come around to kill your enemies with kindness. Content creation thing, that's huge. There's not as many as I thought I would get, but there's a fair few mean comments coming in, and to just embody the killing with kindness has been a very good mindset change for that.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense to me. And yeah, I gotta step up my game.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Sorry, just gonna find out where I am. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, this is such a like fun question. Just like the phrasing, I just love it. What do you love most about the night sky?
We say this about so many questions. I absolutely love this question because it stems into strictly like my past experiences that I've gotten to have, that I've been lucky enough to experience, for lack of a better word. And the short answer is stars. I absolutely love the stars in the night sky. The much longer, much more convoluted answer is, while I was in the military, we had night vision goggles, as you do, and they work by amplifying light. So any like moonlight, any light from a street light that's kind of far away, like it amplifies it and lets you see better in the dark. Stars also obviously emit light, and there are some stars in the night sky, many stars in the night sky, that are too dark to the naked eye. You can look up at the night sky, you can see all the stars, you can see a multitude of stars, so many stars in the night sky, but you put on night vision goggles and you look up at the night sky, and it just so much puts into perspective how small you are, and the entire there's three times as many stars as you can see with your naked eye. Just awe-inspiring, and that is easily, hands down, my favorite thing about the night sky. I constantly go back to that. Anytime I look up at the night sky and I see the stars that are there, I'm sad that I don't also still have a pair of night vision goggles to see everything that the night sky has to offer.
I love that. I mean, what a romanticism of the night sky, and that sounds so amazing. And I would have to say the same. I don't even have a similar experience. Just again, the stars are everything, and I just love the vibe. And I can't imagine having the goggles on and getting to see more with that.
Yeah.
That sounds so magical.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking up at it with the naked eye, there's still just so much going on. it's kind of hard to fathom even more. But yeah, it's just such a beautiful sight to see that.
Yeah, I love that.
In an argument, do you have to have the last word?
I think instinctively, yes. However, I think that that's something that over time I've been trying to really work on and get to a point where it's like, you know what, I can walk away or I can be done with this. Like, we're cutting this off here. And again, I think that's something that's kind of come with age.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, again, instinctively, I want to be like, no, I gotta finish this. I will be the last one. I will make my point. But again, as time goes on, I feel like I get older. Like, I'm less concerned about the winning an argument and, like, being done with an argument. Like, sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta cut my losses. Like, I'm moving on. Like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to do that now and to be like, okay, you know what? I'm not getting the last word. I'm just gonna be done.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, I would say something similar. I'm much less concerned about having the last word, and this kind of contradicts what I just said about understanding the other person. As long as I've kind of said my bits, then I'm happy. If you choose not to try and understand me, you don't understand me, you disagree, all those things, those are all perfectly viable things to be doing. But like in an argument, if someone just like stops and walks away before I've had a chance to like fully state my case, that's really hard for me. And then I keep bringing it up until I can kind of like finish the points that I was trying to make. So that may seem like I need to have the last word, but it's not so much the last word as it is making sure that I got all the bits out that I wanted to.
That's a great answer. I do get that. Like, it can be very frustrating to be like, oh, just let me finish.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't need to be right, I don't need to win, but let me finish getting my thoughts out.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever participated in a fundraiser? And if so, for what cause?
This is, I feel like everybody kind of inadvertently even go through Taco Bell and they're like, do you want to round up for whatever?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's such an easy question to say yes to. When I was in the military, they had their own kind of like, I don't know if like FMLA is the right kind of thing, but where like everybody pools together money, and then if you need it, you can reach out to these people, and if they deem whatever happened, a spouse getting sick or a kid needing like extended time in the hospital, whatever, if they deem whatever that is like necessary for those funds, then they just kind of divvy out those funds, and it's like no strings attached, no like well, now you need to pay it back, now it needs to get super duper taxed on next year's taxes, whatever that comes with a normal thing. It's like a charity kind of thing. That's like the most notable. That's the one that like you give to every year in the military. And yeah, that's kind of that, and countless Taco Bell, whatever roundups. McDonald's does that often too. Our local pet store. This is not quite fundraising; it's donating to charity, but that same kind of. Anytime I go in there, it's do you want to give $2 to a local animal shelter? And it's like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
If $2 is going to break the bank, then you probably shouldn't have pets. So I can give $2 to the animal shelter to help house and feed them every time I go in. So yeah, I feel like people would be hard pressed to say no to this, but
yeah,
it's fun to think about those moments in your life and what those fundraisers actually were and the things you were doing.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Again, school. How many school fundraisers do you do?
Yeah.
You know, selling pastries and cookies and all the things. And yeah, so I mean, without a doubt, I How many fundraisers have I participated in?
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not even as a teacher and being in schools, but like just growing up and being in public school. Like there's so many times for fundraisers. So absolutely. You know, PTO fundraisers. There's everything.
Yeah. Man, we're really cooking. The first two took like 25 minutes, and now we're just cooking through questions.
I know. I was thinking about that too. I was like, man, maybe we're only gonna get 4 questions done today. No, we're on it.
What is your perfect pairing for coffee?
Okay, this is fun because I know we have very different opinions on this.
We have different definitions of coffee. Well, is what it comes down
and that's
to.
where I'm going to start, because when I have coffee, I want chocolate milk with a hint of espresso.
Yeah.
Like, I want
caffeinated chocolate milk.
Yes, I have so much creamer, so much sugar. Like, I have such a light coffee, so my coffee is very sweet. So when I have coffee, my sweet coffee, I want something usually more savory. So like for me, you know, that's some part of like breakfast sandwich or like a bacon or like something that's more savory to go with my sweet coffee.
Yeah, and I'm very much the opposite. I like dark roast, kind of the bitterer the betterer. So my go-to is like a donut, some kind of roll. Love a Long John, a cream-filled Long John. Love a Persian, maple iced Persian. But yeah, it's that sweet to kind of counteract that bitter. That really hits the spot in the morning, and I think it's just opposite flavors, kind of just making the brain happy there. Yeah. You're going sweet coffee, so you need savory food. I'm going bitter coffee, so I need sweet food to balance it out. Yeah,
no, I completely agree. And it's so funny because the boy also has been on a coffee kick, and he drinks any variation of coffee. And so it's so funny because, again, I have a sweet preference. You have the bitter preference. And he's just like, whatever. Give me the caffeine. Which we do not. We did have to get him a decaf coffee, though, because it became such an issue.
I think you need to get, like, ice maybe in the fridge. Because I've been putting the creamer in there to cool it down so you can drink it right away. Our coffee machine doesn't have a kid's temp. It should.
I suppose most coffee places aren't anticipating we're making coffee for kids.
But yeah, I think that if we had some like ice cubes or whatever, throw 2 in the coffee, A, it would water it down a little bit, make it less harsh, and B, that would cool it down. That might be something that we do for him, because he'll drink my cold brew from Starbucks that I get when we go to Target just fine, and he'll drink your super sugared up super sweet mocha cappuccino drink just fine. It's just that, like, the coffee that he likes.
It's so funny.
And I'm sure that will change with age too. I think right now he's just excited to be doing mom and dad stuff.
That's also very fair. I love that. What a funny question. Okay. Oh my goodness. So, big swerve from coffee. Who do you matter most to?
That's a fun question, and I want to say the kids, but like that's not true. I don't think. I think that the kids, you interact with them more. I work nights, so I sleep at some portion of the day where you get to spend that time with them. I do get to do daycare drop-offs and pickups right now, which is very, very nice. I get a little bit of time with them there. It's not really like quality time, but I can still chat with the boy and listen to the music that he likes and stuff like that. But I definitely feel like I could kind of come and go, and I don't think too much would change. But if you came and went, I feel like a lot would change, especially for the kids.
I disagree.
I think that I matter most to our eldest dog. I don't do the most for her, and I think that if I was just poofed out of existence, I think she would take it the hardest, because all the things, she just really, really loves me.
That's fair. You are her person for sure.
Yeah.
And she's a cattle dog, so she picks a person.
Yeah. We were hoping, I was hoping it was going to be the boy, and it very much is not. She is not a kid dog. Just the unsureness of their movement or something just rubs her the wrong way. But yeah, I definitely, our oldest dog, she loves me. She'll seek me out, try to play with me every chance she gets. Again, I think if I was just poofed out of existence, she would take it the hardest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe you.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to me.
You're crazy.
But no, I agree. You are a person, and that would be a tough time. And again, we've talked about dogs and their intelligence level, and she is one that, again, we did the, talking buttons with, and she is one that without a doubt, will say very much understands English. She understands when we are talking to her.
Yep.
And that was one when our older dog went to have to sit down with her and say, hey, all done now, they're not coming home, this is it for them. Was that was a terrible recreation, but to sit down, we had to have that conversation with her to be hey, this dog isn't coming back. And she very much understood that, and had that whole mourning period about that. To sit down and explain to her oh, Dad's not gonna be here anymore, she would not.
Yeah.
That would be so tough for her. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know when we first filled out this book, for me the answer was Daisy, who is one of our cats, who is no longer with us. So to read that answer back was really hard for me, but she was, I got her as a kitten. She was my cat that I had throughout my whole 20s. And it was her and I everywhere. And to be fair, she was a sassy cat. She did not love everyone. And so we really had, that kind of bond there. And that was the one that I was I matter most to her. Without me, she would have a tough time readjusting or acclimating to the world or to other people or, whatever. And so.
Yeah, I think you were her constant. Any time, through moves, because you moved so many times with her, bringing kids home, bringing other pets home. She just always looked for you, and that was very apparent. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get emotional about it, but dang, it's crazy that those pets are.
Yeah.
And that's such a crazy thing, because kids are so special, but we are temporarily their whole world. They will find other people and things that they love in their lives. And for our pets, we are their whole life for their whole life.
Yeah.
Which is such an emotional thing for me to think about.
Yeah, because right now, I'd say one of us, both of us, you, me, whatever, matter most to the kids right now.
Right now.
If you give it another 16, 20 years, we're not even going to be top 5. And that's life. I hope to give them the ability to feel strong enough, capable enough, independent enough to go out and do the things they want to do where they want to do them. I hope that one day I can matter a lot less to my kids.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to set them up to know that that's the end game. That's tough.
I am not going to cry about it.
Before we do that, then, before we start crying about it, let's move on to our last question of the evening.
Good idea.
And this one is a silly one to end on. I think we've had this kind of question 2 times before, at least once.
Yes.
What movie director do you find completely genius?
See, and I'm gonna go first because you actually have an answer for this. And I think I can't think of a single thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I just am not like a movie buff like that where, directors stand out to me and that sort of thing. I can say Taylor Swift if you like, because some of those music videos, I mean, on point. All Too Well 10-minute like version, that's basically a music video or a movie. Let's be real. So
What's this? She's the Man?
oh yeah, I like
That one was a really good one too.
Yeah.
The production value there is stellar.
That is one that I can watch her music videos and kind of be like, wow, the thought process that went into this. And even like The Fate of Ophelia and like the making of that music video, to watch that and have her be like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Like, I can't fathom the creative thinking that goes into that, let alone to shift that to like a movie. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 hours of shots and these views, and that's like, again, nothing comes to mind for me for movie director, but to think about what that process looks like is kind of unfathomable to me, because my brain just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's very fair. And my answer is going to stay the same, unchanged from the other times we've answered this. And I think it's also unchanged in that I don't know if he's a producer or a director or both. I don't know. All I know is that if Guillermo del Toro, his name is attached to a movie, I definitely want to see it. Again, I love his practical effects. I love the kind of just what he can take and do with a movie. I love his mind. I'll shout his praises till the cows come home. I really like what he does. And again, I could be completely off base here, and he's definitely a movie producer, and now I look like a silly person for not knowing this thing that I sound like I deeply care about, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. I'm starting to think if they're gonna keep asking me these, that I gotta read up on my watch more movies.
What's the Shondaland? Who's that? For like Bridgerton.
Oh, that's a great point. Shonda, maybe.
Yeah, it's just Shonda something.
No. Yeah, I should look into that because, gosh, I do love Bridgerton. Gosh, dang. So yeah, I'll look into that. Maybe next time I'll actually have an answer for these.
Yeah. For the next 12 times they ask it.
Yeah. Well, they'll rephrase it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Ask for producer next time if they haven't already.
Yeah. Well, then, I had a great time talking with you, as always. And for everyone else listening, thank you for wandering beside us. I hope your night is soft, your questions are light, and your path aglow. Until we meet again.